welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I am going to talk about how you will deploy generative AI application and how you will secure your generative AI application. So high level I will be discussing about with one of the architecture, then I will explain step by step with demo. Let's take a look with the demo. First I am going to explain the architecture, then the second part of this video I'll show you the demo, walk through all the step by step demo. So this is all about the video, so let's go ahead and start the explanation of the architecture. So in this architecture, as you know, the developer, as you can see the developer, so the end user, when they will write a code, generative AI based code, then whether you are writing a code in your local laptop, then you are sending that code into the version control. So here I'll once code is ready, that I will send that code to GitHub repo with the private repo. Then I will use continuous integration and continuous deployment, the cloud build tool I will use, as you can see in this architecture. Then I'll use the target is a cloudrun to deploy my container, but meanwhile the end user, how they will connect. So the end user connecting through load balancer, so I'll set up a application load balancer. Then the security purpose to identity our proxy will set up to prevent the unauthenticated users, right, to access this GenAI application. And then in the vertexai, so the code which I will write the plugin and to call the Gemini Pro 1.5 to work with my generative AI application in my Python based code. So this is all about the whole architecture. So let's go ahead and show the demo. So in this code, as you can see, the app.py, this is my GenAI based application which I have this is already available in the public GitHub repo. And then the Docker file, as you can see, one of the Docker file, and the requirement.txt file, the requirement to plugin to install to run all this. But how the git will be play, like git checkout -b and man. So I'm switch over to main branch. Then whatever file I want to add, so git add colon, it will be add to check the status. So you can use git status. Then what we will do to interact with your GitHub repo, then git config global user email, your email ID you put, then you can also git username, then git commit, you'll use the git commit. Once committed, then to authorize the access, like before that, once my code ready, what I'll do, I'll create a repository in my GitHub, that is secure GenAI UAB app. And then let me click on private and click on create. Once created, then we'll push that the remote repo. So you just copy that 3 command. Then here before that you want to auth login. So it will ask to select HTTPS, then click yes, then login with web browser. So it will generate a code to authenticate that device with your GitHub. So this code will paste over here, then click on authorize hub, and then in your authentication code you will put that code here. Once if you are authenticator app, it will generate configured, then it will generate a code, will put, then it will authenticate. Then what will happen, it will be communicate with your GitHub repo to your laptop. So ultimately your whatever the code I had in my laptop, now it is already pushed into the GitHub repo which I created. So as you can see, now I am going to set up a CI pipeline to deploy my code. But what I'll do, navigate to the cloudrun and select the GitHub, and then put the name of your service name, secure web AI app, and then you will select the region. Then here you have to set up with your cloud build. So cloud build source repo GitHub, you select that. Then which repo, because repo is already integrated, so select that repo which you had created. Then click on next, and then branch, main branch, and click on Docker. Then it will take it automatically. Then authentication, obviously allow authentication to access your application, and maximum number of instance you can set as per your choice. Then as per you need the variable, you need to set over here, variable and secret, whatever. But in this demo case, I just only define the project ID as a variable. Then I'll just everything is set now. Now what I'll do, I'll just create, right? Then once it is created, so it will be automatically my continuous integration and continuous deployment will start the help of cloud build. So that is already the process is already started. Meanwhile, we have to show the end user how they will communicate to the application, to our cloudrun where we are deploying. So what we'll have to do, we have to create a static IP. So as you can see, I am just creating a static IP over here. Once my static IP created, so that is required when I am going to create a application load balancer, right? So make sure that this is one of the steps is required. Then navigate to the load balancer. So in load balancer, click on create load balancer, then click next, next, and configure the application load balancer. First we need to set up a front end IP and port. So let me put the name of the front end, secure GenAI web app. So GenAI web app front end. Then select the protocol, HTTPS protocol, and then IP address where we created the IP address. Then click on secret, create a certificate, and create for the demo purpose take Google managed certificate. And here is the most one of the important steps, like the domain. So the domain, you have to put your load balancer IP, or maybe if your domain is already configured, you put your website name, for example xyz.com. So in this demo purpose, I just put the load balancer IP address. Then now moving to the backend configuration. So backend, we have deployed our application into cloudrun. So need to create a backend service, put the name of the backend service, then select the serverless network endpoint group, then create a serverless network endpoint group. Please put the name of secure web app, the backend serverless network endpoint group name, and make sure that you have to select the region where you want to deploy your application, and the to create a serverless network endpoint group. So let me select the US Central one, and then select cloudrun, and select already we have deployed our cloudrun application. You select that, and then for demo purpose, I uncheck the cloud CDN, and once created the backend service. Now yeah, so here you have to put the load balancer name here. So maybe we can put web app LB. Everything is set. Now let's go ahead and click on create. So it will take some time to create the load balancer, right? So once my load balancer created, then you have to check the certificate, whether the certificate is enabled or not. So meanwhile, now I am going to check the deployment is completely successfully happened or not. So you navigate to the cloud build and check the deployment. So as you can see, the integration and the deployment, all that already successfully done, and the log you can check the steps, what the steps in the as part of this deployment, what happened. that will confirm through cloud build. Then you navigate to the cloudrun to check your application is successfully deployed or not as a service. Authentication you will need to check, allow unauthenticated or required authentication, which option is enabled. So because of in this lab there is certain permission issue, so that's why it is disabled, but make sure that it will allow unauthenticated to access publicly to check that demo. And then what we will do, just if you all that configured and your cert is enabled, then you need to check through the load balancer IP whether you are able to reach to cloud application or not. Right, so there is some the certificate is now still it is provisioning state, so that's why it is not working. It will take generally it will take 10 to 20 minutes to activate that cert, then it will work, right? So for demo purpose I am quickly navigate to the other steps. The security part, identity aware proxy part. So how identity aware proxy enable here? So you have to go to IAP. So then you enable the API. Once your API enabled, so what will do? Then you navigate to the API service, API and services, then click on auth consent screen. Here you consent screen you have to select the external and then put the app information, I mean app name, then supported email ID, the current email ID have to put, and then the next step authorized domains, right? So once authorized domain you put based on your domain whatever, but the demo purpose I am putting some dummy domain name here, and then along with my IP address, but yeah, IP address is not required here, only the domain name is required, right? And then if you can put the developer contact information, you can also put over there. So 2 times you can save and continue, then back to dashboard. So everything is set here. So now we click on public app to verify. As you can see, this is a unused, yeah. So once that is done, then navigate to the IAP. So IAP, once it is enabled, so it will be start working to verify the user, as you can see that over here. So if I'll stop, again it will not able to verify it, right? If I'll stop the IAP. If I'll enable, then it will be verify the user, whatever the user is accessing to that application, right? So yeah, as you can see, this is IAP is off, so that's why, and then IAP, when I am IAP on, so the user is verified. So this is all about this video, and I hope this is an informative video. If you want to integrate this kind of solution with your business requirement, so definitely this video will be helpful. And the code is publicly available. That repo I will be mentioned in my video description below. I will mention the link, so you can go through the code. The code you can get from the GitHub repo. Okay, all right, thank you for watching my YouTube video, and don't forget to like and subscribe my YouTube channel, and thank you, bye bye.